If you're involved in a motor vehicle accident while at work, you actually have a couple different claims. You may have a personal injury claim against the at-fault driver that caused the accident, and you also may have a claim against your employer's workers' comp. So for today, we're going to talk about the employer's workers' comp claim. Now, what this involves is an injury at work. You need to report it immediately to your employer, usually at least the same day, possibly the next, and explain to the employer what happened. They're probably going to go send you to get medical care. Here in Las Vegas, where I practice law, usually people get sent to a place called Concentra, and they're going to give you an examination and decide, what injuries you have that are related to the work injury, the work accident. And they're going to present that not only to you, but it's also going to go to your employer, the insurance company. And there's going to be three potential outcomes. One is they'll say, hey, you're fine, go back to work. That happens a lot. And if you are fine, then go back to work. If you're absolutely not fine, can't get out of bed the next day, and think the doctor's absolutely insane, you definitely want to contact your rep from the work comp insurance and say, hey, I need a second opinion, and do what you can to go get a second opinion. Now, that aside, they may also, second option is say, hey, you are injured, you're too injured to work, therefore you're not going to work. And then the third option is sort of in between, where they say, hey, you can go back to work, but it's light duty. And what light duty means is they're going to put some sort of a restriction on you. So if you're on the road, and let's say you're an Amazon driver, if they give you a light duty restriction of only lifting 10 pounds, you're probably not going to be able to do your delivery route. So then what do? Well, you go to your employer and say, hey, employer, I was injured on the job. The doctor gave me this restriction. I need light duty. And your employer is going to say, hey, okay, we have a light duty job for you. You're going to keep coming to work every day. You're going to do the light duty job, and you're still going to get paid. Or they're going to say, we have no light duty work for you. So what do? Well, in the early circumstance, the doctor says you're fine, so you go back to work. If you don't go back to work, you're not going to get a paycheck, so go back to work. If the doctor says you're not fine, you should not go back to work, then do not go back to work, and you're going to get something called temporary total disability payments, TTD, and those are usually about 2/3 of your regular paycheck. Now, in the hybrid situation, where the doctor says you can go back to work, but with restrictions, if your employer's got a job for you, you go do that work, you go do that job with restrictions, and you keep getting your paycheck. Now, in the circumstance where you're told that you can work, but with restrictions, but your employer has no job for you, then you've got a different situation. What you need to do here is take your report from the doctor and give it to the claims adjuster you're dealing with for the workers' comp. And then you need to go to your employer and get something in writing that says there is no light duty work for you. And you take that and you give it to the claims adjuster handling your workers' comp claim as well. And then you say, hey, claims adjuster, look, the doctor said that I can't do my normal job, that I have restrictions. My employer said they have no job for me that complies with these restrictions. So I want temporary total disability payments, which again is going to be about 2/3 of what you normally make. Now, when you get better, you're going to have to go back to your regular job. But in the meantime, this would be a vehicle where you could still get some payments until either your employer comes up with a light duty job for you or until you're healed so you can go back to your regular job. Now, the work comp adjuster is not going to seek out these documents on their own. They're going to say things like, oh, I didn't know that you had restrictions, or I didn't know there was no job for you. They're going to sort of bury their head in the sand, do anything they can to avoid making payments to you. So it's very important that if you are able to work, but with restrictions, to get that letter from the doctor and to get that letter from your employer proving that they have no job for you that complies with the restrictions. Now, if you've got questions about your personal injury case in Nevada, feel free to give me a call, 702-425-8880, and we'll talk about it. It's a free call, no pressure, no obligation.